I've met countless people who came to the exact same realization that I did, that they needed to change their relationship with alcohol. To a man, or a woman, when they make this decision, they usually are dead serious. They want it. They need it. They tell you, this time it'll be different. And then, so often, it isn't. They return to drinking. I'm Dr. Donald Crow, and I've been sober for nearly 28 years. That's over 10,000 mornings waking up without a hangover, without that dull regret, without that sick feeling of wondering what I said or did the night before. And during those 10,000 days, I've encountered countless individuals trying to stay sober. I've had an opportunity to celebrate their successes and to analyze their failures. What could cause them to return to the very behavior they know is dismantling their health, their relationships, their careers, their dignity? Their reasons, of course, have been varied, but one theme shows up again and again. They get sober for a little while, and then their anxiety overwhelms them. Not boredom, not loneliness, not peer pressure, their anxiety. And that's why I want to focus on this today. Anxiety deserves a special place on the list of relapse triggers, because anxiety doesn't just make you uncomfortable. It hijacks your machinery. It convinces you that you need an escape now. In this video, I'm going to break down the anatomy of anxiety, where it comes from, and why it has such a powerful hold on us, and what we can do to weaken that grip, especially in early recovery. Because if you can't tolerate anxiety, sobriety becomes fragile, and I don't want your sobriety to be fragile. There is a common belief that after years of sobriety, or after professional success, we outgrow these problems. Let me disabuse you of that idea. I'll tell you a little story to illustrate. Recently, I went in for a routine chest x-ray as part of an annual physical. I've had to get a new primary care doctor because I've outlived a couple of the colleagues who used to fill that role. The tech taking the x-ray takes the image, and I ask casually if I can take a quick look. I glance at it for about 5 seconds. Then I leave and get on with my day. But by the time I reached the parking lot, my brain started to spin. I began thinking that maybe I saw something abnormal. And I had to admit to myself that if I'd saw what I thought I saw on one of my patients, I would have asked for the opinion of the radiologist immediately. But now, it's late Friday afternoon, and I don't want to inconvenience someone. I tell myself I'll just wait for the official report, which comes on Monday. That weekend turned out to be one of the longest weekends of my life. I didn't just worry. I built a story. First, maybe it was abnormal. Then, it was abnormal. Then, it was a tumor. Then, it was malignant. Then, it was the realization that the clock we all have ticking was suddenly ticking a lot faster for me. Monday came. No report. Tuesday came. No report. And my anxiety used that delay as evidence. See, it said, they're withholding it because the news is bad. On Wednesday, I finally get notified that the new results are available on my chart. I'm not a religious man, but I'll admit it, I said a prayer before opening that report. Not necessarily for a specific outcome, but for the strength to accept what I was about to read. And what did I read? Normal chest x-ray. I reread it. I read every detail. What I thought was abnormal was nothing more than prominent blood vessels, probably highlighted by my lack of robust chest muscles. I had spent the days in real physiologic distress over something that didn't even exist. And I had relearned a lesson that matters deeply in sobriety. Worry has no reward. None. It pays no dividends, it offers no protection, it doesn't improve outcomes. It simply ruins the present while pretending to prepare you for the future. Now you might hear this and think, fine, worrying is useless, so I should just stop worrying, right? Let me know how that works out for you. Here's the problem. Anxiety doesn't originate where logic lives. Yes, we have a thinking brain, the part that uses words, plans, and reason. But underneath that is older hardware. primitive structures that evolved to keep us alive long before modern life existed. This instinctual brain doesn't speak in words. It doesn't care about reassurance or statistics. It communicates with feelings. So if you're sitting on your couch with the door locked, the fridge full, money in the bank, and your body is still screaming that something is wrong, you're not broken. You're dealing with a system designed for a different world. In the ancient world, when that alarm went off, it was usually right. There really was something out there. Today, the threat might be a delayed email, a strange sensation in your chest, a look from your boss, or a vague sense that something bad is coming. Your instinctual brain doesn't discriminate. If it feels threat, it has one response. It pulls the same lever, fight or flight. And the chemistry to facilitate that floods your system. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense, your gut shuts down, sleep gets disrupted. And then the worst part happens. Your rational brain tries to explain it and ends up pouring gasoline on the fire. Now you're not just anxious, you're anxious about being anxious. If this occurs in early sobriety, or actually when this occurs in early sobriety, you've lost your old off switch. Alcohol used to work fast. It wasn't a solution, but it was a very effective anesthetic. So when anxiety hits and triggers real physical symptoms, the brain remembers the fastest relief it has ever experienced. Not because you want to party, not because you're weak, because your nervous system wants the noise to stop. That's why anxiety is such a dangerous relapse trigger. It doesn't negotiate, it demands. So here's the key idea. If the instinctual brain doesn't speak in logic, then you have to speak to it in a language it does understand. And that language is experience. It's what you do that tells your instinctual brain what is true. When anxiety hits, the process is simple, but not easy. First, acknowledge it. Not, I'm dying, not, this means I'm failing, just, this is anxiety. My alarm system is firing. Second, pull back from the story. Anxiety wants you to write a novel of what-ifs. You don't have to finish that book. Third, immediate repetitive action. Something useful, something physical, something mundane. Prey animals under threat don't do chores. They don't cook, they don't clean, they don't organize. So when you engage in normal, repetitive activities, you send a powerful, nonverbal message to your instinctual brain. If we are safe enough to do this, we are not under attack. For me, that means getting up and going for a run, or working on this channel, or connecting with my sobriety crew, fixing a meal, or doing the dishes, one of the many mundane activities my wife would like me to do more often. And here's the honest part. When anxiety hits, I don't feel like doing any of that. Anxiety tries to paralyze you. That's its move. The win is not feeling better first. The win is moving first. You may not be able to stop the initial spark, but you can choose your response. I've been sober for nearly 28 years, and that last weekend reminded me I haven't mastered anxiety. But I don't need mastery. To stay sober and live a meaningful life, I haven't had to be perfect. I've only had to change enough to be better. Better at recognizing the alarm. Better at refusing to expand the doom narrative. Better at choosing action instead of choosing a drink. Because the relief you think that comes after that first drink is an illusion. It's borrowed calm at a brutal interest rate. If you're trying to get sober or even thinking about it, you have a choice. You can keep doing what you've always done when anxiety shows up, or you can start training a different response. If you want structure for those early weeks, I've created a resource to help you navigate the first 3 months of sobriety. It's called the 90-Day Sobriety Survival Kit, and I'll put information in the description below. If this video resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel, give us a like, and comment below. I read the comments and use them to shape future content. And if you're still unsure whether your drinking is really a problem, check this video on the screen right now. Remember, giving up drinking doesn't mean giving up anything real. It means opening the door to the life you deserve. I'm Dr. Donald Crow, and I'll see you in the next one.